And we're back among the action then. Hashim still leading them by 3.6 seconds. Not yet stopped for those tyres, I see. I thought we might just about make it through this one, but Hashim and the rest of the field on hard tyres. Different strategies in operation. It's lap 20 and Hashim finally pits then, and he will give up the lead of the race. Nick Gishen resumes the lead of the race, and he is some distance now away from Pampern, who is 2.3 seconds behind the Haas driver. Midas is in third place, having already pitted and come back out onto his hard tyres. He's only 4.9 seconds away then from the second place driver Pampern. You can see him as they go down the Reta Aposta. Then we've got Gachui Levy in fourth. Hashim comes out of the pits into fifth position. 0-2 coming up from the back of the grid is in sixth place, as did Midas up into second, and then Royal Viking, Chums, Razor and Stoffel your top 10 at this stage, with Midas with Uzi just pitting and putting on the medium tyres. So the McLarens, after being slow in the first half of the race, will be the fastest drivers, or potentially the fastest drivers, as we progress into the second half of the race. I'm sure they'll be enjoying the feeling of those McLarens now, after taking an awful lot of pain at the start of the race. So first target for McLaren is Stoffel's Red Bull in front of Uzi. He's 7/10 behind. Hashim is 1.7 seconds behind the Alpha Tauri. Is that a mistake potentially from Royal Viking? He's gone on to AI, so maybe a quick disconnection, unfortunately, for Royal Viking, who has shown so well so far. Razor will get past him easily. The AI cars are set to be slower than the Division 2 drivers here. Uzi is half a second now only behind Stoffel. Just making sure Stoffel knows he's behind him by showing himself in the mirrors. No real concrete attempt at a pass there. Good evening to Revolution. Glad you could join us. Hopefully the rest of our audience from the first stream will be rejoining us slowly but surely. Stoffel and Uzi bringing themselves towards the ghost of Royal Viking here. Unfortunately, Royal Viking disconnected for the time being, and that is a yellow flag. Apologies, I haven't got the track map up yet. It's just a short sector yellow flag, short duration as well. So thankfully we are avoiding further caution. Lap 23 of 36, and Uzi looking like the driver most likely to launch an attack here at this stage. Ulrich says we're here. Good, I'm glad. Hashim, fastest lap, just proving that those McLarens have got some pace behind them. Revolution says let's go Pampern. Well, indeed he has been. He was leading this race. He's dropped that gap to 1.9 seconds, but Nick Gishen is not going to be an easy guy to defeat here, and down the inside tries the McLaren. They were very active on the positioning. Oh, and the Red Bull tries to hold on, even though he's further behind than halfway across the car length, and Stoffel spins in the S2 Senna, loses out there, just trying to hold on just that moment too long. And I'm pretty sure touched his left front to the right rear of Uzi, and we all know how the game mechanics handle those collisions. Usually it's the driver behind that suffers most from the contact, so perhaps it's their reason to move out. Here is Hashim then, 0.3 of a second behind Gachui Levy on the medium tyres. He's got some ERS to use, but he's not choosing to at the moment, despite the fact that Gachui Levy is down on electrical deployment power. Royal Viking asking for an invite, but unfortunately I can't furnish him with that. McLaren of Hashim moves up then past Gachui Levy and up into fourth place. Hopefully he can continue his journey forward. Nick Gishen leads by 1.9 seconds still. No big change there. just opening up to 2.1 seconds, so just fluctuating slightly. Shakes with a penalty. That's another 3-second penalty. Let's check out the penalty situation. That's Stoffel on 3, Shakes on 3, Ron Shutter on 6, but they're not featuring in the big points tonight. This is your race order. Everyone about a second or more apart from each other. Let's have a look then at Shakes, who might be about to launch an attack. Revolution saying completely different positions tonight to what he's usually seeing. Yeah, it is. The Brazilian Grand Prix really throwing up some surprises so far. Yeah, absolutely not wrong. Least of all, the fact that the position change has been pretty extreme as well. 13 places climbed by It's Midas, and Royal Viking is down in 10th. He's hoping to get a new invite into the session. We'll see if that can be facilitated by one of our drivers. 02 has moved up as well a lot of places, as has Hashim, and we'll be hoping to climb further up the order, but he's got a long way to go before he is on the back of Midas, who is not lacking in speed at this time. Reminder that the McLaren started on the hard tyres. Stoffel has pitted twice and put on mediums just now, so he'll be hoping. That's a 10-second penalty, was it, for Ron Shutter, unfortunately. So he's now up to 19 seconds. That was a massive corner cut. Usually that's what that means. And Pampern has picked up a penalty, sadly. Pampern up to +3 seconds. So his job now is going to be trying to hold on to that second place, unfortunately for him. Let's head up as Gatui Levy is hanging on to the back here of Hashim. They're not getting too far away from each other. So on lap 26 with 10 to go, Nick Gishin leads by 1.1 seconds. Make that 4.1 seconds really with the penalty. And then Midas, Hashim, Gatui Levy 02, Chums, Razor, Uzi and Royal Viking. Your top 10. How is Uzi doing then as he gets up behind the Mercedes? It's McLaren versus Mercedes twice on the grid order at the moment. Looks like we're going to have some action here as Razor is closing in on Chums' 7th place. Just behind him comes Uzi as well. Here comes then Razor on Chums, catching and passing in one fluid motion. No messing around there from Chums. That was done on DRS. And that will mean then that Chums will get DRS down at the Reta Aposta, which will probably help him defend rather than attack. Let's see. Uzi with a good run. Remember, he's on the medium tyre versus the hards on everyone else's car. It was obviously a use of battery deployment as well for Razor, who's dipped into the red. But Hashim will spend at least, I imagine, until coming out of Yun Sao, the final braking zone of the track, before he can get clear air and back onto the back of Razor. There's a yellow flag in sector 2. That's Haas driver who is off. That's probably Ron. Given that Nick is leading the race and not going down, but it's a safety car on lap 27. That's a safety car. I wonder if there's some debris on the circuit. Let's see from Royal Viking's perspective. I'm not seeing any online or off racing line even, but that Haas was stationary long enough to cause that stop. One Ferrari in the pits, one AlphaTauri in the pits. So will we see some soft tyre runs here at the end of the race? Razor, it looks like, might have pitted. Yeah, we've got pit stops happening at the tail of the field. That's 02 in for softs. That is Razor in for softs 2. Uzi's relatively happy on his mediums, and he's gained a position by passing there. And Nick Gishin a drive-through penalties for speeding under the safety car, and that will be served after he has taken the green flag on the restart. So Nick Gishin will lose the lead of this race thanks to overspeed under the safety car. That is a massive, massive error from Nick, despite the fact that he has done nothing else wrong all race long. One little mistake like that, and that is race run and over, and he could end up outside of the top 10 by the end of the race, given that the cars will condense with only 5 or 4 laps to run. That's massive. Pampern has pitted as well. And it's Midas will inherit the lead of the race after the drive-through is served by Nick Gishen. This is really going to turn things around. Hashim up to net second place, but will have soft tyre runners behind him. It's Midas will restart this race in the pound seats, but unfortunately on the worst tyres on the track. So it is all to play for in the final few laps of our race. This is Pampern coming out of the pits, having lost 2 positions, but he's got a 3-second penalty to pay as well. So his target is clear: get ahead of the 2 cars in front plus 3 seconds. What about Nick Gishen? Well, what can be rescued from a drive-through penalty? That's at least 18 to 20 seconds of track time when everyone else is on green flag conditions. So that is going to be far from easy. We've got lap vehicles in between drivers here. Now, will the lap vehicles be allowed or instructed to overtake? I don't believe so, but they will get in the way of the progress of the likes of Pampern on the soft tyre. Remember, Pampern on a 3-second penalty. That's the key one to remember here as we go back to the tyre graphic. And there are going to be, if we're lucky, 6 racing laps. If we're unlucky, 5 to finish this race off. Nick Gishen with a drive-through caused by the rapid, over-eager deployment of the safety car that didn't appear to be any real cause for that safety car. No retirements and no debris on the circuit. Maybe the Haas just taking that second or two too long to get moving again might have triggered it, but well, it doesn't take much to get Bernd Manlander on track here in F1 22, does it? So we can't pin the blame on our regular season drivers too much. So how about some predictions then for our final order? Now that these penalties are being applied and the tyres have been selected as they have: Midas on hards, Hashim on mediums, Pampern on softs with a 3-second penalty, and Nick Gishen with a drive-through still to serve after the green flag is waved to finish our race off with just a short sprint at the end. How far can Nick Gishen rescue his race from here? If he's got the intention to retire in a bad mood, it's going to be really annoying for him, isn't it, to have to follow this safety car until he can go into the pits, which we ask the drivers to do if they are in need of exiting. Can't always be done, of course, but we'd rather that than they deliberately crash or retire on track, because their ghost keeps running and it gets in the way. Here the safety car will come in, so Nick Gishen has the strange honour of restarting our race despite having to go into the pits pretty quickly thereafter. He may elect to try and do a lap under green flag and allow the field to spread slightly, but he will have to come in very quickly thereafter. Pampern with plenty of cars behind him, unfortunately, so the top 2 have a 3-car buffer between them and the first soft tyre shod runner. And Nick Gishen goes now, and Hashim on the medium tyres already looking to draw himself level with It's Midas, who closes him off in the braking zone. It's Midas going through there nicely, and there's a retired car, a ghosted car on soft tyres behind Hashim. That's going to get right in the way, and they will probably be discouraging that Red Bull from getting into the battle here. That's a little unfair. Pampern has got ahead of Gichui Levy, so target number 1 complete for Pampern as he's trying to move himself forwards. Let's look at the front here. Try to, if at all possible, ignore the Red Bull, who is a lapped vehicle. Nick is nearly a second to the good there, saving a second on his drive-through penalty that he'll have to serve, and he won't be able to fit new tyres, of course. well, I don't know where that Alpine is coming from either, but they are getting through past the Alpine. I think it's Midas and Hashim in their 0.3 of a second gap at the front here. Midas will be slow off Yun Sao, and the lapped Alpine will be right in the middle of it. No pit stop yet from Nick Gish, and he's stretching that field spread for an extra lap before he has to serve his drive-through. Ron Schutter having a problem coming out of Yun Sao, causing a yellow flag. The drivers will be nervous if Ron Schutter is causing a yellow flag, because that's what triggered our most recent safety car. So Nick Gishin has a drive-through, remember, from It's Midas in second and Hashim in third. Pampern is quick. He is pounding in these laps and trying to bring himself up into contention. But remember, 3 seconds penalty on the car for Pampern, sorry. Hashim is penalty free at this stage. These lap cars really are complicating matters for our drivers as they try to finish this race out. They are quicker than the leaders because they've all had the opportunity to fit soft tyres. So really confusing matters here and causing a dirty air effect for the following solid cars, or lead lap cars I should say. They have been cleared now then, and DRS has been enabled. So Pampern has Gachui Lebi right behind him. Pampern may be saving some ERS deployment here for the end of the race and to launch an attack. Midas hasn't been saving at all, trying to keep himself away from Hashim as they battle for the lead. I think Nick Gishin will be forced to pit now or suffer an even greater penalty at the end of the race, unless he plans to appeal the drive-through. That is another option. I will have to call it as I see it and correct it later on the broadcast if that is going to be a problem later on. If the stewards decide that Nick Gishin didn't deserve his drive-through, then he'll be reinstated as the winner, but I will have to update that to you at the start of next week's stream. So 3 laps to go now. Nick Gishin leads them away. Will he go into the pit lane for his drive-through? Yes, indeed he will. So no question then, our leader will be Midas from Hashim and Pampern as they barrel their way towards Curve 1. 3 laps to go, including the one they're on now. Big job for Pampern to win this one, possibly even to stay on the potential podium, especially now he's stuck in a DRS train with Hashim and Gachui Lebi behind. So big ask, a really difficult ask here for Pampern to get the gap he needs to move forward. Hashim on hard tyres is hanging on at this stage, and that has been quite an achievement. Hashim will have better grip, but that difference in tyre grip will be waning with every lap that goes by. We saw after about lap 12 the medium runners were suffering versus the hard runners at the start phase of our race. So it is a big onus on Hashim to get the pass done as soon as possible. He starts coming out of Yun Sao with 0.3 of a second gap. He's got some electrical deployment in profit. He draws alongside, but he's on the outside entry into Curve 1. It's Midas getting Curve 1 all wrong. They go through the S Dorsena and now through the Curve del Sol with good grip on the McLaren. The Ferrari hunting from the behind as well. This is the battle for the lead as the McLaren is forced to the outside once again. An almost touch of wheels, and will he get through? Decido del Lago they go. He goes wide on the circuit. He's trying to hold on to the outside to get the inside line for the next corner, but he can't. He can't get there. That was expertly defended by It's Midas, and Hashim avoiding contact as well. Fantastic sequence. I know that they didn't change places, but wow, super strong expertise. This is a big, strong battle here for the top 4 as the cars will finish this race. We've now got 6 cars within a second of the car in front at the top of the order, thanks to the most recent safety car We won't see another safety car now, and around goes Razor, exiting that 6-car battle. We now have a 5-car battle for the podium. Here is Hashim. In fact, that caused a double-waved yellow flag, and Hashim will go the outside once again. He could do with squeezing the Mercedes to the inside here, as he's trying to get the cutback, but the Mercedes going very wide. It does appear to be out-manoeuvring and out-boxing the Mercedes in front, but Kachui Levy out of nowhere has passed Pampern and he's right alongside the McLaren. Will try to sweep on the outside of Decido Delago, takes an early turn in, and Hashim touches from behind. A little reset to track, a cheeky moment from Hashim there. Perhaps he felt that was just. It was decisive driving from the AlphaTauri driver there, as 0-2 has passed Pampern as well before any penalty is paid for. Pampern letting his teammate through and might elect now to hold up the rest of the field, or at least hold on to that 4th place, as he can do, being 3 seconds clear. Kachui Levy is now fighting for 1st position. A big step out from the Mercedes then, going through Yun Sao, and that took all the scoring away. It is the final lap. It is Kachui Levy with a win in Brazil. What a finish, as the Mercedes of Midas almost got there. 0-2 picks up 2nd. Pampern with a podium in 3rd, just ahead of Hashim. 0.3 of a second is how he managed it. The McLarens, after having a shocking lap 1, get into 4th and 5th position. Midas in 6th, rescuing the car after going lawn mowing through the final corner. Chums in 7th, Razor in 8th, Nick Gishen, Royal Viking. These guys just finishing up now our order, but it will be Royal Viking in 10th for the final point, and Kachui Levy with a breakthrough win. Amazing stuff. Congratulations to Kachui. 0-2 and Pampern 0-2 up from the back of the grid, don't forget, and scoring 13 places gained. Midas would have beaten him if the race was 1 corner shorter, but that is a tremendous performance from 0-2 tonight. Definitely driver of the day from both the game and from myself, if that counts for anything, and a double Ferrari podium. The boys will be happy with that one, no doubt. So that is the end of the Brazilian Grand Prix from us. Don't forget, there'll be another race same time tomorrow for Division 3, and to make sure you join us next week, same time, same place, for the Bahrain Grand Prix, I believe it is, before then the final 2 races the 2 weeks after that. Reminder, I've been Webbo, that's my my commentary name, and you can follow me and my live output at WebboRed5 on socials, both YouTube and Twitter. But Kachui Levy will savour this one, I'm sure. Tremendous performance there. He held on medium tyres at the end there when many of the drivers around him were on softs, and he picks up the biggest trophy tonight, and congratulations to him. 0-2 did get driver of the day officially and unofficially as well. So folks, I'll take you through the final standings and then bid you a good evening. Host has been migrated, so we might get there, we might not. Let's see. Kachui Levy wins. I'll go through this quickly. From 0-2 and Pampern. So double Ferrari podium, and a driver of the day for 0-2. Then comes Hashim and Uzi, the McLaren pairing, who went for that option strategy. It's Midas. Problem on the final corner. Lost him the win, but he came home 6th after starting 16th. And Chums, Razor, Nick Gishen and Royal Viking, your top 10. Brad and Shakes, erstwhile teammates, but no longer, in 11th and 12th. Then Stoffel with the fastest lap in 13th. And then you've got your retirees, Ron Schutter. No, Ron did finish the race. And Hasse Hamrick and Avalak retired from our race early. Thank you for tuning in tonight. I'm grateful we only got the 1 lost stream. But yeah, hopefully we can go down to 1 solid stream next week from all of us here at FTR Division 2. We will catch you on the next race day.